Hello everyone, I'm Raíssa and I'm bringing you now a new podcast of the blog Softball Now. This Saturday morning here in Natal the temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, but it really feels like 34 degrees Celsius. We had a passing shower, maybe we'll have some more. The sky is mostly cloudy, but it's hot. It doesn't matter how the sky is, it's always hot around here. Wow, this Rogan Knot title, it's because I'm really impressed with how fast things are happening in the U.S. after the U.S. result of the presidential elections. And yesterday, it was the first time that I saw a report talking about how the Electoral College should or might act after this result. I've never thought about these people, these special electors having a different outcome for the elections. But yesterday I saw on CNN a report about that. They were discussing what could happen if the Electoral College decided to go rogue. So, what we think, could they go rogue? Should they go rogue on December 19th? That is the date when they are going to choose the next president of the United States. And most of all, will they go rogue? Well, CNN brought three scenarios, and I'm going to use them to discuss here with you. First one is what I believe everybody's expecting. That is the most likely thing to happen, that everybody, or at least the number they expect that are going to vote for Donald Trump, they will vote for Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is going to get elected officially. Because we know Donald Trump has been acting as he has been officially elected, but in the USA, there is another step to complete this. And of course, tradition says he is the president, but things are going so crazy, so weird in the USA after that. We have all this news about recounting votes, all this news about Russia hacking the system, hacking the emails of the Democrat Party, the Republican Party. So we have so many things happening so fast that it's not really, let's say, strange that we expect something different happening on December 19th. That will be next Monday. So number one is this scenario. Donald Trump is elected. That's what everybody expects, and nothing weird will happen, at least in the Electoral College, because with Donald Trump as the president, we can have lots of strange things happening in the world, not only in the USA. Second scenario is that we may experience faithless electors going rogue and decided that they should vote for Clinton instead of Trump. In that scenario, we will have an outcome of the election that would match the popular vote. Because if we count only the votes by states, Donald Trump was elected. But with all the counting that happened with the popular vote, Hillary Clinton got the most votes in the USA. So popularly, at least, she is the president. And these electors would... well, of course, we are just speculating here. These electors might change their votes because of that. We have to add that we have lots of things happening these last days, so it's possible that someone decides to change their vote. It's possible. Not probable, but possible. And the number three scenario, I think, is the weirdest scenario ever. That is, Trump electors, they defect or they abstain, but neither candidates get elected because neither one of them gets 270 votes. That is the minimum number one person should have to be the next president of the USA. I think this is the least probable scenario ever, but it's possible, and CNN brought it and also analyzed that nothing in the Constitution or federal law prevents this, because an elector, this special elector, they can change their vote, but 29 states, they punish this with fines or substitutions of electors. So if one elector decides to change their vote, they substitute them. I don't know if there is someone out there who is willing to try this, to see if they get punished and trying to challenge the system, let's say like this. But let's talk about this last scenario that I've never thought it would be possible out of an election. As I say, this election was really weird, so we have all these scenarios now. I thought I knew the system that was the presidential system in the USA, or presidential election system, but I was totally wrong. Now I think I know a little more or a little better, because we have all this speculation happening with all this news, strange news going around this election. So if this happens, if Trump electors, they defect or they abstain, but neither candidates get elected, then the House would vote for president. In that case, the candidate, Hillary or Donald, should have 26 states or more to get elected. And at the same time, the Senate votes for vice president. So it's not one vote together, like the House vote for president and then the president gets the vice president too. No, the House will vote for president and the Senate will vote for vice president. And in this case, the Senate, we're going to count each Senate, not the state. So to get elected, the vice president will need, the candidate to vice president will need 51 Senate votes at least to get elected. So that's the situation. The House votes for president, 26 states at least to get elected, and the Senate votes for vice president, 51 Senate votes at least to get elected. But, of course, we can have deadlocks. If the House gets deadlocked, neither candidate gets at least 26 states to get elected, then the decision will remain to the Senate. But not that they're going to vote for president. This is the craziest thing, I think. They are going to vote for vice president, and this vice president is going to be the acting president, because the United States wouldn't have any president elected by January 20th. That's the idea. Of course, beginning on December 19th, that is when the Electoral College is going to vote, beginning from that date and going on until January 20th, this voting will happen again and again and again until we have someone elected. So the idea here is that if we don't have someone elected by January 20th, then we'll have this outcome that the Senate, the guy that was elected as vice president by the Senate, this guy will be the acting president of the United States beginning on January 20th. But, of course, there is a possibility that the Senate gets deadlocked too, deadlocked 50-50, for example. In this case, the vote that will decide the next president of the United States, in fact, this vote will decide the next vice president, but this person will be the next president. So this deciding vote will be casted by the current vice president, that is Joe Biden. So can you see how crazy this can get? We can get the current vice president, Joe Biden, deciding who is going to run the United States for the next 4 years with his vote. One person can decide this. So wow, It's totally weird for me. I never thought these elections could go like this. Of course, after Donald Trump winning this election, we got a lot of people talking about how this electoral college system works, that the idea when this system was founded is that the electoral college could correct any mistakes that the population could make. So a lot of people are talking about this mistake because none of the polls that we had before elections, they showed Donald Trump as the winner of it. So a lot of people went to sleep thinking Hillary Clinton was the next president, and then when they woke up, they got the news that Donald Trump was elected. And with all these things that are happening now, with these hacking things, Russia against the United States, kind of Cold War is back. And Barack Obama is really upset about it and talking about retaliation, and a lot of people crying for this retaliation of the USA. So we don't know. Maybe it's just a possibility. If you ask me, I don't think it's probable. But maybe we can get this electoral college going rogue as CNN predicted yesterday. But I have to say that CNN also thinks this is not probable, but it's possible. So if it is possible, we should discuss exactly for the election result. Everybody thought that it wasn't probable that Donald Trump would get elected, and wow, what happened? He got elected. So we should discuss the possibilities, and that is the possibility if you didn't know about it, okay? Well, I have to say that yesterday too, I started to use Spotify. I didn't know about it. Of course, I knew it was an app that we would listen to music through the internet, but I never really thought I would like something like that because I'm a person that likes to listen to music in the car only. But I decided yesterday to try, and I'm really happy with the result, because I can get some music that is not available anymore, that is really difficult to get the albums. So I'm really happy with this Spotify. And this morning I just played a playlist, a Billie Holiday's playlist, totally out of random. I like Billie Holiday, but I got a real present this morning. That it was the first song to be played, was The Very Thought of You, a song that is not very famous, but it's totally beautiful. And this is my recommendation this morning to you. If you want to listen to a song that is all about being happy because you are in love, you just listen to The Very Thought of You. This is Billie Holiday's precious present to all of us. Okay? So everybody have a nice weekend. I invite you to listen to this podcast in English next Saturday at a new schedule. It's gonna start at 8:30 in the morning in Brazil. Here in Natal, that's the time. That's not the official time in Brazil. The official time in Brazil would be 9:30. But here in Natal at 8:30. So I invite you to be here. It will be the day before Christmas. And it's a special day here in Brazil. We really celebrate this day. It's not Christmas Day here. It's everything about Christmas, the day before Christmas that we celebrate. So that's why we are rescheduling this podcast. And so I invite you to tune in here at 8:30 next Saturday to listen to this podcast in English. And if you want to listen to this podcast but about soccer and in Portuguese, you can tune in tomorrow at 10 o'clock, or about other subjects next Friday at 7. I'll be waiting for all of you guys. Okay, have a nice weekend. See you there.